Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Rampage or Ramfruit. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Montel Vertadius Porter here. And today on Rampage or Ramfruit, we we don't know what we're going to be doing here today, but hopefully it'll be a good show. Mike Lane said, "Yeah, it will be." Tony Schiavone says, "It's going to be a good show here today on Rampage or Ramfruit." Yeah, it mostly is going to be a good show. Mike Lane, Mike and Tony. It's going to be a good show. Montel Vertadius Porter says. We just don't know what's going to happen. Well, we got shit. Well, stop the coughing shit. Well, we got, we got Ethan Carter III. No, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, or MJF for short. Stand up. All right. Maxwell Jacob Friedman says, You might wonder why I'm here. You see, if everyone talking about who was a former TWF heavyweight or world heavyweight fighter, they don't bring up my name, and I won it at least 2 times. Yeah. And then I went on to lose it to Nora around last year and never won it back. So, I think I should be the one that should fight Seth Rollins for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings, at Wrestle Dream instead, at One Night Stand, instead of Wrestle Dream instead of that Cody Rhodes. I mean, when you start to think of it, who makes a big deal about him? You got him from the Vinlander Frith middle, like we got so many other, dolls. Everyone likes to make a big deal out of him. They only make a big deal out of me. So, yeah. I think it should be me. The coughing shit. And I think it should be me. At least that's what I believe. And we knowing that we probably don't know where he's at. He probably got buried. Underneath all the other dolls. Yeah, fuck. Underneath all the other dolls. But I think at the end of the day they're not gonna bring him out because he probably got buried, underneath all the other dolls. So I don't know where he went. But that's alright. Because at the end of the day, this is only showing the grounds to why I should be the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. Because what the only outstanding thing about him is they got him from the Vinlander Frith middle. But then again, he wasn't really that outstanding. Someone had to give him away. So, tell me, what's that, Montel Vertadius Porter? I mean, what's that, Maxwell Jacob Friedman? I don't think we ever fought or wrestled when I was in AEW. I don't think so. And so now you're bitching, you're ranting about the unfit stand up. And now you're ranting and bitching about the unfairness of why you think you should go, why you should wrestle for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings, and not me, right? Yeah, not me. Because there really isn't anything outstanding about me, because I got bought from the Vinlander Frith middle. When God forbid I could have been bought either from Walmart or Target or ringside gatherings or other sundriest other on the interweb shops or shops out there. And when we be earnest about you, there isn't really anything outstanding about you except you got a double. What do you mean I got a double, Cody Rhodes? There's another one of you out there somewhere. You know, there's two of you. Instead of one, there was two of you. And you need to, and if you think it's unfair that I'm going to be wrestling for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings, that's too bad. But then there's really nothing outstanding about you, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, except you came from Amazon or Strong Woman. But the seller ended up giving two out instead of one. So I guess one's always going to be the backup if something should happen to the other one. Yeah, well, you know what, Cody Rhodes? I'm going to beat you. And then I'll be the one that will have the right to go for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. All we gotta do is just get a fight keeper in the ring and we'll be set. Well, yeah. And now I got the fight keeper in the ring now, Mike Lane says. The one that has a hard time standing up and ends up falling down more times than not, Mike Lane says. And that's right, Tony Schiavone said. Wakefulness is not a friend to dolls. Wakefulness likes to make us dolls fall over, not to fall down. But there he is, and that's the fight keeper. It always seems to be falling down more times than not. I'll tell you right now, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, he's going to beat Cody Rhodes, the Vinlander Nightmare, and then he's going to be the one going for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. Well, this is meaning now, most likely, I don't really know if Cody Rhodes is, is on stake here today. But he starts out by taking down Maxwell Jacob Friedman. But that some folks out there, Mike Lane says, like to say that he was nothing more than MLW and JCW and NWA and AEW's take on the UPW, OVW, WWE, The Miz. Mike Lane said, a body slam. Yeah, a lot of folks do say that, Tony Schiavone says, that Maxwell Jacob Friedman was nothing more than CZW, MLW, NWA, and AW's, take on UPW, OVW, and WWE's Miz. A lot of folks like to say that, but I don't know if there's any truth to it, Tony Schiavone says. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Montel Arcadius Porter says. I don't know if Cody Rhodes or MJF or Maxwell Jacob Friedman, I don't think they ever wrestled and fought when Cody Rhodes was in AEW. I don't think so. I don't really think it ever passed the mind of Shao Kahn or Anthony Kong to ever do it, Montel Arcadius Porter says. He's going to do... Oh! Well, that might be true, Mike Lane said. A body slam. MJF body slamming the Vinlander Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who has hopefully wants to end the saga, between each, about becoming the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter, on top being a WWE heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. you know. And he's the only one, Tony Schiavone said, to be a back-to-back winner of the Kingly Thunder since Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and Steve Austin. Tony Schiavone says. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman just knocks Cody Rhodes outside, Tony Schiavone said. Yeah, I will give Cody Rhodes that because he was able to do what only very few other wrestlers were ever booked to do, to win back-to-back Kingly Thunders. You know, Montel Vertadius Porter says. But at the end of the day, I don't really think, you know, I don't really think that's going to help him. Well, Cody Rhodes getting back in the ring now, and the Cody Cutter on Maxwell Jacob Friedman, followed by Round Road, followed by Round Street. The Round Street on Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ding ding ding. Here is your winner, Cody Rhodes, or the Vinlander Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And it does seem to be, Mike Lane says, that Cody Rhodes, or the Vinlander Nightmare Cody Rhodes, beat MJF Maxwell Jacob Friedman here today on Rampage, or Ramfru, Mike Lane says. Yes, he did, Tony Schiavone says. And Cody Rhodes showed why he's the one going for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. I'll tell you one thing right now, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone, Montel Vertadius Porter says. I mean, I'm not really, don't get me wrong, Cody Rhodes is a good skilled wrestler. You know, yeah, he's wrestled in sundry businesses, WWE, TNA, ROH, NWA, NJPW, AEW, before going back to WWE again. But at the end of the day, I might onlook him for his wrestling skills, but never truly onlook him for being a sob baby and sobbing about why he didn't beat Roman Reigns last year at Wrestle Madness, or why he's not going to beat him this year at Wrestle Madness, or why he isn't going to become the WWE heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter, or why he's not going to become the TWF heavyweight and heavyweight fighter, Montel Vertadius Porter says. Well, you know what Mike Lane said, never say never. Cody Rhodes has all the skills, and need be this year will be his year. And you might see him as a TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter, and as a WWE heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. You never know. And that's right, Tony Schiavone said, you never know what will happen. Will Cody Rhodes win this year, or will he not win this year? Your guess is good as mine. I want to take it away now to Michael Cole. Right. Thank you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with the Vinlander Nightmare here today on Rampage, or Ramfru. Alright, Cody Rhodes. Some folks in the TWF, are bitching and ranting about the unfairness about why you're going for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings and they're not. Well, first off, Michael Cole, I can't worry about what other folks think or what they believe. Yes, it's true, last year in WWE, I did not become the WWE heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. Yes, I got involved in other bullshit, like the Seth Rollins, and then Roman Reigns, and then Brock Lesnar, and finally worked myself back up to be fighting Roman Reigns again, even though Roman Reigns and The Rock and Paulie Dangerously and Sikoa and James Uso might think that I didn't work enough to get there. And I worked myself off to hopefully becoming the WWE heavyweight, the TWF heavyweight, and world heavyweight fighter too. Well, Cody Rhodes, a lot of folks do think that you shouldn't be wrestling them, or you didn't put enough time or enough work. First off, Michael Cole, I put in the time and the work for sundry's years. When I was first in WWE and they sent me to OVW, I put in the time there. And then I spent years in WWE. And then I went to TNAW. And then I went to the NWA and ROH. And then I went to NJPW for a little while and AEW and back to WWE. So no one cannot say I didn't put in the time or I didn't put in the work. And I can't say I didn't win enough winnings and all of those ones. But at the end of the day, I now know that that's their flopping belief. You know. Well, what about Maxwell Jacob Friedman and him bitching and ranting it should be him? At the end of the day, we all know that Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, whatever you want to call him, always likes to bitch and rant about the unfairness of things. Yeah, he was a former two-time TWF heavyweight fighter and world heavyweight fighter. Yes, he was a former AEW heavyweight fighter and a former AEW tag team fighter at one time. Yes, he was also a former TWF tag team fighter too. But at the end of the day, it's what have you done lately? And you know what? At the end of the day, I think I beat him. I think I shut him up. Alright? If he still wants to bitch and rant about why it's him, why it's me and not him, well, that's his bind, not mine. Well, that's my talk with, Cody Rhodes. Back to you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Michael Cole, for talking with Cody Rhodes here today on Rampage or Ramfruit. Shit. Come on. And that's all the time we got here for Rampage or Ramfruit. That's all the time we got it for Rampage or Ramfruit. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Montel Vertadius Porter. We hope you like Rampage or Ramfruit, and we'll see you tomorrow for Collision or Hit.